over the single e-learning demonstration on what your foundational training course can look like to help participants be successful. So here's the first example. This is the course shell when we first start up or first start creating your account. What the CCF team will do is we create a course and we give it a title. You are not required to keep this title as is, but we do suggest that you identify it so you know what the course is, as well as those individuals know what course this is. So for this, obviously, we're just putting it as a sample, and it is a sample for Introduction to Childcare. The course description. When we're setting up your account, your course description will always say, just enter course info here. This is for, again, individuals to understand what this course is about. When you're creating your courses and events in the Wisconsin PDAS system, we already have that guide for you of what that course description is that DCF has created. You can put this here, or you can create your own. You have to put a course description in, as feedback that we are receiving from individuals is they're spending more time in the LMS if they're doing a blended option. And so having more information on what is expected of them, what this course is, and how to be successful is greatly appreciated. Again, we have to take the approach that these are brand new adults, so they might be 18, 19, but then also now that 16-year-olds can be assistant teachers, they are also encouraged to complete these courses. So how can we get and inform a wide range of individuals to be successful? And by doing that, one strategy is that we are very clear and we are very concise in our information and our direction in these courses. So again, in your course description, you can use the one that was created and that you're already putting in the PDAS system, but you are also welcome to use your own. Course language, this does not translate the entire course into a different language if this is unchecked from English. Again, it's just identifying what the training will be provided and what language would be provided in. So it's automatically set to English. You can always change it to a different language as well. Grading options too, we always will check must pass each module. You are welcome to choose the average or also set specific module weights, but then that is you have to determine what that average is or also what those specific weights are. Again, why we'll always do the must pass, just because it's just more simplified. In addition, we are going to be keeping the must completed linearly. That means, and we'll see it in a second with all the different modules that you can add into your LMS, is that they have to complete A before they can go to B, and they have to complete B before they go to C. If this is unchecked, they can go to A, they can go to Z, they can go to N, they can go to B, and any way you want, or any way they want. So if you want them to follow a certain pattern, and because you're setting up your training to follow a certain way, please keep this checked. As we scroll down, the course statistics, again, when individuals have registered for your trainings, this will update and provide additional information of, again, what's the average score, how many have completed, passed, etc., etc. It's just a nice way also to kind of keep yourself informed of how the training is going and where individuals may be at. So again, when we're first setting this up, this is just a shell. This is just to get your LMS account ready and for you to modify it to how you see fit. So when we add in the score modules, we're just going to label them as module 2, module 3, because then you can change the title on how you want to set it up. Again, feedback that we have heard is that keeping it just module 2 or module 3 does not mean anything to the participants. There's no connection. especially in feedback that is provided on the required assignments of, oh, you really should go back and read over developmentally appropriate practices to enhance whatever that required activity is. They don't know where developmentally appropriate practices is. They would have to click back through every SCORM module. However, if the title of the SCORM was updated to reflect developmentally appropriate practices, again, it's easier to follow along and it's easier to make those connections as well. It also just gives insight and also individuals' preparedness for what is going to be coming next. Feedback that we've heard from trainers is we're wanting the LMS to be more like Blackboard. And we'll see that in a second of a completed course of if we make these changes, it is going to look more like those higher level LMS systems that maybe you have taken or that others that have taken 4 credit courses have taken. So you can see the preview, and that just gives you an insight of the SCORM module. Again, we don't have to go and reinvent the wheel as well. To change the title of Module 2, we can literally just take the title of the SCORM already and just change it to the role of childcare professional. And again, that gives that insight of what the individual will be working on. If you want to make any changes, you can just click the little notepad, and that way you can change, again, the title, the user out timeout seconds. This is where the LMS already records the time that individuals are in the LMS or in the course, but it doesn't show if they're active or if they're inactive. So if the user timeout seconds are not changed or modified, as long as their computer screen is on, it's recording their time. If you add time to this after, and it's set for 20 minutes, after 20 minutes and no one's interacting with the SCORM or the content, it's saved, their content is saved or their place is saved, but they're logged out and they would have to sign back in. And so that's a true representation of how much time individuals are spending in each module. In addition, for the grading option, SCORMs are automatically set to automated grading, which means you do not have to go in and grade it or say that they've passed, as it was when we first started this, that as long as they've gone through and checked everything that's in the SCORM, the LMS automatically marks them passed. You can change it to manual grading. Again, more work on your part. Manual grading should be used for other modules like evidence module or a discussion board where you have to provide feedback to that participant. And that way you can see what they've actually included in these different modules. And I'll show you how to do that in a second. But that way you can provide that feedback to them, and then you are manually saying that they're pass or fail. So we'll close this out. And how you can add a module is right above the course modules, this plus module button, you click, and then the system is asking you what your module title is, what is the module type, and also if there's going to be retakes chosen. To keep myself organized, because again, we're all busy. We're all trying to provide the highest quality training that we possibly can. I use OneNote to keep myself organized, so that way I'm not rewriting things over and over again. So for an example, we're going to put in a discussion board. So I'm going to copy and paste. I'm choosing, these are the module types: evidence, Zoom, just came back in, so you can put Zoom into your LMS, discussion board, multimedia, and instruction and resources. I'll be honest, instruction and resources is not used very often for the foundational training courses because module 1 in every training already is like a syllabus. It tells the participant what they need to do to be successful and also how they can interact with the SCORMs. Instruction module, you could put your policies in. If you have like a refund policy, your expectations, etc., you can use this. For this purpose, we're going to create a discussion board. So I'm choosing the discussion board option. I'm putting in the title, and I'm putting in what made you decide to pursue early childhood education. I'm going back over to my OneNote, and I'm copying and pasting my wording, my criteria. So in the discussion board overview, again, this is just giving insight to individuals who are taking this course, what I'm really going to be asking of them for this discussion. So I'm pasting that overview in. I'm going to click manual grading because I will be giving them feedback. And this discussion boards are also a great way to build engagement and within participants, getting to know your participants, where they are in their background, what their knowledge is, their skill set, etc. And that way you can build off of that. I'm going to put in pass and fail. And then in the discussion board setup, I am, again, just giving additional information so they know what to expect. So in the description, again, I'm copying and pasting. And then I'm also putting the question again, because this is actually our question. And this is the topic that I want them to discuss. So I've added a discussion board module. And the question I want everyone to do, and this is maybe one of the first things I want, is to build like that icebreaker, to build the engagement in the LMS, is a discussion board of why the cohort or the group is deciding to pursue early childhood education. When I'm done setting this up, I'm going to click Add Module, and it's going to upload it into my course. And that way we can see right here. And if you click the notepad icon, again, it gives us a little preview of what this will look like. I haven't made any changes, so I don't have to worry about it. And I'm going to add one more module too. And for this one, I'm going to do a multimedia. So multimedia can be a recording you already have from a training or something you've gotten permission from participants that you can add. Most common, it is a video. Those are already kind of embedded into the SCORMs as well as part of the training. But again, you can enhance this to make those connections to the best. So individuals are understanding this to the best of their ability. So for this one, again, I am having them watch a video on serve and return. Interactive, if I can type. And I'm doing a URL. So then I have, again, trying to be organized. Here I'm pasting in the URL. I'm now for multimedia. As long as they watch the video, they can be graded for completion. I don't have to go in and do the manual grading because for this, all I want them to do is watch the video. For the learner instructions, I am going to just give insight on what I'm asking them to do and what they need to do next. So in these instructions, I'm just saying in our face-to-face sessions, we have talked about infants building their executive functioning skills through positive daily interactions. And so here's a video that goes over why we communicate with infants at such a young age to build their development. And then further going on, watch this video. And then in the discussion board following this module, I want them to share a strategy that they will implement into their environment. So if this is all I want them to do, I'm clicking Add Module. And then I have now added an additional module into my LMS course. How you have the option that you can set these up however you want. These arrows on the side can be moved and you can move them, like I said, however you want. Module 1 through Module 10 do not have to stay in that order. So if you want Module 2, whatever that topic is, and then professionalism, which is usually towards the bottom of like 9 or 10, you want that up above. Again, you have the rights, you have the autonomy to switch the order of these modules and however you see fit. And also with it being completed linearly, like we've checked up on the top, they have to complete Module 2 or whatever the role of professional early childhood education or professional. They have to complete this module. Then they have to watch the multimedia. Then they have to do the discussion board. Then they can go into Module 3. Again, as long as that check, they have to complete A to go to B to go to C. And here is just an example of a completed single e-learning course. Again, title's the same. I put in the course description. This is the one that is in the DCF. The DCF has provided to us that you're already currently putting into the Wisconsin PDAS system. I've kept my grading option must pass each module, and I've kept must be completed linearly. I am now scrolling down, and I have all 10 modules in here. This is Module 1, again, titled Course Expectations and How to Be Successful Using RISE. RISE is the program that the SCORMs have been developed in. Here is my discussion board that I included in the first demonstration. Again, the role of early childhood professional. That is Module 2 that we just saw previously. And then I've also submitted an evidence module for every required activity. Again, you can change these however you want, but again, the order can be however you want, and you can switch it around. I chose for myself to be more organized and again, to be clear and concise to the individuals that are taking this course. I did not just say Module 2 and all required activities uploaded here. I chose to do a separate evidence module for every assignment. That way I know in this module, it is only the core competencies, or it's only the mandated reporter training certificates. That way I can easily identify, yes, these 10 individuals have submitted this and they're moving on. I need to contact these 5 individuals because they haven't submitted this yet. And we're coming up to our next face-to-face session, and I need them to complete this by the time we have that meeting. And so you can just keep scrolling and just seeing all the different modules that are in here. There is not a there's not a limit on how many evidence or how many modules you can add to this. You have the right to add it however you want or how many you want to add. One thing with the evidence modules is, again, it's still checked, must completed linearly. You can use the evidence modules as a way to stop individuals from moving ahead. Say you're wanting to focus on the first, like on health and safety, and then on developmentally appropriate practices, and you don't want individuals to move on. Using evidence modules, because you're going to be discussing them in your face-to-face session, is a great way just to kind of stop individuals from moving ahead, that they have to complete and submit their work at that time. After you've discussed and gone over it, they can upload it, and once it's uploaded, then the rest of the section is open up to them. So there's ways that you can kind of like, people have asked, how can I like release, or can I set release dates within the LMS so they only get certain content? At this time, there's not a way to add release dates of when content will be shared, but using these evidence modules or using different modules that you have access to is a great way to stop them individuals from moving forward too. One reason we also are encouraging the evidence module in your LMS or your single e-learning course is, again, we've had a lot of discussions about the evidence and the documentation that participants have completed the work. Having the evidence modules in your LMS and where everyone who is actively taking your course has to submit work, it's all right here. You do not have to have it saved in another spot. You don't have to have people email it to you where it's one-stop shop in the LMS. But another reason too is, again, we all are running out of, again, our space on in our hard drives or in the cloud, and we already have it here. So just so you are aware, I have to exit this. If you do use the evidence module in your trainings, when you go into you can create your course and your event in the PDAS side on the registry. And again, people register there, you're going to have an active classroom in the LMS. This is all your active trainings that are going on. Even with the training ending, your classroom will still save all of that content. So like I said, active trainings that you are currently training at the moment will all be in the open section of your classrooms section in the LMS. It's right here on the left-hand side. To see previous trainings that have closed, and again, if again, DCF or the registry contact you and say, hey, you know what, we just need to see completed work of these 5 individuals, you can say, you know what, everything is in the LMS. It's in this classroom. And you can go to the closed section, uncheck open, so it only shows your closed classrooms, and hit search. In all of your closed classrooms, which again are trainings that have ended, will be here. And we can easily go in and hit the manage button. And then we can see individuals that have completed the work that has been submitted. And there's your documentation of the evidence of learning. Again, it's already stored here. It's one place that individuals need to go, and so they don't have to go and email over here, but then attend the LMS here and then go over here for something else. Again, it's all directed here into the learning management system. So I appreciate you being here and viewing over our single e-learning course. If you have any questions, please let us know. We will be happy to assist you in any questions that you have, or kind of giving ideas, bouncing off ideas on how you can develop your LMS course. But thank you, and hopefully we talk soon. Bye.